Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. Our glories to Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada. Our glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace is Shara Prabhu, who did no introduction. Prabhuji, I think we missed you last month. Yeah. We missed you last month. That was when, yes.
That's right.
It looks like I cannot say 12. A moment is like 12 years or more, but it looks like longer than just 1 month miss. So nice to have your association here once again. So you may take it over from here, Prabhuji. We'll put the rest on the screen.
Okay. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radham Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Vede Ramane Chaba Purane Bharate Tata Ado Adiyan Chab Madich Harisa Vitagayate Narayana Namaskitya Naraya Chabandrotaman Devam Sarsatin Vyasan Tatu Jaya Madirayat Nasta Priya Sabhadri Su Nitam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike Bukan Karati Bhajalam Pangu Langarate Guri Yakipata Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramane Madhava Dharma Prajita Katabu Cha Paramoni Masram Satan Vedam Vastavam Macha Vastu Shivaranta Batayamu Shima Bhagavati Mahamane Kritenki Vai Paraishvara Sadhuriti Habaruti Chakiti Bita Krishna Nigama Kapatalu Kalitam Phalam Sukam Mukadra Samvitam Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Mahura Urasika Bhagavaka Yashabrashamanayan Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Uttapade Pumsa Sukha Moa Bayataha Atoyam Brahma Sutrana Bharatata Vinaya Gayati Vasharu Poso Bidata Paribirmita Sabaviditya Sanan Saran Saran Paribirmita Savidanta Saram Hisi Bhaktami Shati Tarasamita Syati Tashanayati Syati Kuchi Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Navise Sasunyavadi Pashacha Desatarini Krishna Vasudevaya Devakinadana Chananda Gopakumaraya Govinda Yanamo Nama Vasudeva Sutandevam Kasachandra Madana Devaki Paramananda Krishna Vadijaga Guru Namo Mahavadanya Ya Krishna Pima Padaya Te Krishna Ya Krishna Chaitanya Mini Guru Cinema Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadahara Sivashadi Go Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai. So I'm happy to be back on this platform. Yes, I was not here last month because last month, the first day that was scheduled, I was traveling. So I saw the Prabhu that I cannot take class that day. And then the second day, which was against schedule, Krishna did not allow me. I was sick. So I could not.
Saw that the GC takes place 1 hour earlier than.
So I could not. I had to bail out. But it's always nice that I'm with the devotees and be able to share something about Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always an experience. Experience which has to be in line with the instructions of Guru Sadhu Sastra. And by sharing such experiences, we get great benefit. The speaker of the Bhagavatam is benefited. The hearer of the Bhagavatam is also benefited. And also many, many living entities. They are all benefited. So hearing of Krishna Katha is the life of the devotees. Our life should be centered around that only. Srimad Bhagavatam is the sole book that focus only on Lord Krishna. There are many, many other Puranas. There are 18 Puranas in general. But many, many other Puranas, they talk about different, they have different focus. But Bhagavatam is 100% about Lord Krishna. So we are in the chapter of the Jan Vijay. Jan Vijay, who are the two gatekeepers of the palace of Lord Narayana. They are the Lord security guard, which means to be in that position, it's not ordinary position. To be the Lord's own bodyguard, security guard in the Vaikuntha planet. So they have to be great devotees of the Lord, because only great devotees of the Lord can be awarded such topmost service. But in this case, we see that the four Kumaras who had traveled to the spiritual world and were about to enter the palace of Lord Narayana, and they were forbidden to do so. They were checked on the gate, like, oh, who are you? What, you can't just enter here. Well, because the four Kumaras, even though they are very ancient sage, very old, but they always appear to be 5-year-old. So that's why they are called Kumara. Kumara means, childhood, young age. Because they are great self-realized sage, great personalities, they are topmost mystic, so their age is never above that of a 5-year-old. Yeah, they are the oldest among Lord Brahma's children. But they never pass the age of 5 years old. Just like Lord Krishna's form, his form is eternal. Nitya Kishore. Nava Yovana. Nava Yovana means is eternal, eternally youthful. Lord Krishna asked for, he asked for ages. There's Kumara age, which is childhood. And then there is Balya age, which is like boyhood. And then there is Kaishora age. No, there's a boyhood, then there's a Poganda age, which basically started after 7 years old. So that is more of adolescent. And then there's Kaishora age. So Kaishora age is the Lord's youthful form. That's been generally between the age of 10 to 15. That's Kaishora age. And then Yovana is 16. From the age of 16 onward. And the Lord is never past that age of 16 years old. So it's called Nava Yovana. It never passed the age of 16. Always remains so. It was example was given when Lord Krishna was on the on the battle of Kurukshetra. He was there on the battle of Kurukshetra, and he was in the chariot of Arjun. He was on the chariot driving Arjun, Parthasarathi. He became the charioteer of Arjun. So at that particular time, Krishna was like 100 years old on the planet. So his body has become 100 years old, but he remains like a 16-year-old. 16-year-old, because he never passed the age of 16. So it's never human, it's always youthful, eternally youthful. Because his body is, there's no difference between Krishna and his body. His body is all the same. Only sometimes he appeared to be a child, sometimes to be a boy or adolescent, because he wants to give pleasure to his devotees. And because devotees, they desire that he did not appear in that particular form, he appeared there. So the Lord appeared to them, and that form is eternal form. So to many, many devotees, Lord Krishna is always like Balgopa. Balgopa means like that's small boy with Ladu in his hand, Ladu Gopa. So that boy who is Ladu in his hand, people, they had to, like the Gopi, they will tell Krishna that, oh Krishna, you can dance if we sing, and then when you dance, we will give you Ladu. And Krishna will do it, because Krishna wants to take the Ladu. And so he will dance very, very nicely. He will dance very, very nicely so they can get the Ladu. But of course, we should understand that does Krishna need the Ladu? But Krishna wants to give bliss. He wants to give happiness to his devotees. The Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. He's always magnanimous. And he's always very, very enthusiastic to give happiness to his devotees. So therefore, when the so-called clapping their hand and they are singing Krishna Lila to Krishna, then Krishna will be dancing. And then by seeing such dance, they receive oceans of bliss, oceans of happiness, which they receive just by looking at Krishna dancing. So this verse, which is pointing out that yes, the four Kumar, they are great Brahmanas, but they were not devotees. There's difference between Brahmanas and Vaishnavism. Brahmanas, they have all qualities. The quality of the Brahmanas is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, which is start with the Shanta, like peacefulness, austerity, many qualities of Brahmanas are there. But being a Brahmana doesn't mean that one is a devotee of Krishna. It's after being a Brahmana, it's after that one becomes a devotee. Because by being a Brahman, one come to understand who is Brahman. Who is Brahman? So we'll come to understand who is Brahman. And Brahman means God, the Supreme Lord. So Krishna said, Brahmanoha Patistaham. Yes, I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Krishna said, I'm Brahman. I'm the basis of Brahman. So one become a devotee after being a Brahman. So this verse is showing how the Kumaras, how they have caused Jan Vijay. Because Jan Vijay forbid them to enter the spiritual world, to enter the Vaikuntha. So they were angry. They were angry. They were angry. Of course, yeah, their anger is also justified. Their anger is justified because they said that, oh, these two security guards, they are fully aware Then the spiritual world, they are beyond all the sages. So what is the necessities of them trying to stop them from entering the palace? Does that mean that they are seeing the duality? Duality means this person is suitable or that person is not suitable. They won't begin to see the duality. Does that mean they see in the sense that being prejudiced of who is qualified and not qualified? Because the height of spiritual advancement is when one sees the true equality of all beings. Because one sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. What's the Yoma Sabbath? Yoma Pashati Sabbatra. One sees the Lord everywhere. Yoma Pashati Sabbatra. Pashati means to see. Sabbatra means everywhere. One sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. That is the advanced person who will see the Lord everywhere. So there's no more chance for such a person who sees the Supreme Lord to have any dualistic vision. So the Kumaras, they were saying that, oh, how can these two persons see the duality? Who is fit, who is not fit? So therefore, we cause you that because you have seen the duality in us, so you do not fit to be here in the spiritual. So go to the material world, which is full of duality. That's in Vaikuntha, there's no duality. So you must well go to the material world. And then the Supreme Lord appeared. So which means this altercation started going on between two sets of potential devotees who are the Kumaras, the self-realized great sages, and then the Jan Vijay, who are actually eternal devotee of the Supreme Lord. So two altercations were there. And then the Supreme Lord, he appeared on the scene. Then he came. Lord Narayana himself came to see what is going on among his devotees. Of course, fortunately, the Kumaras, the moment they saw the Lord, from his lotus feet, the aroma of Tulsi leaf, because the lost feet is always smeared with the aroma of Chandan and Tulsi leaves, because the Lord is worshipped by Tulsi leaves. So the scent, the aroma that is carrying the fragrance that is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. So this aroma enters the nostril of the Kumaras. So which means it's an honorary aroma. So when this aroma entered the nostril of the Kumara, entered their nostril, they became devotees immediately. They became devotees. They became fully realized devotees, self-effort. And then they start realizing that, oh, what have we done? We have caused the devotees of the Lord. What have we done? What have come over us? And these devotees, they are faultless. Now, this is something we're going to be talk about in this class, how devotees are faultless. These devotees are faultless. We just cause them this way. We cause them to go to the material world, and then the Supreme Master came, the Lord himself came. Now, what's going to be happen to us? So the Kumaras, being the devotees, then they develop all the qualities of devotees. The main one being humble. So the great humility arose within them. The great humility arose within them. And they started making these prayers to the Supreme Lord. So I chant the verse first, and then I will continue on the deliberation on this verse. So text Canto 3, chapter 16, text 25. Yambanayo Dhamma Adisa Bhavam Vidate Vritin Vatat Anuman Mahi Nivyalikam Samashubhaya Uchita Tiyatan Sando Yanagascho Bayan Ayung Shmai Kibishina. Ya, which were or anayo of both of them, the man punishments, the Adisha, O Lord, Bhavan, your Lordship, Vidati awards, Britim, better existence, no, certainly, by or that, Anuman Mahi, we accept, Nivyālikam, without duplicity, as much to us, by or whichever, Uchita is proper. Vrijatam may be awarded, Sa, that, Dandaha, punishments, Ye, who, Anagasao, sinless, Vayan, we, Ayuksmahi, allotted, Kibishena, with a cause. Translation and purpose by Divine Grace is a Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Lord, whatever punishment you wish to award to these two innocent persons, or also to us, we shall accept without duplicity. We understand that we have caused two faultless persons. Purport. The sages, the four Kumaras, now reject the cursing of the two doorkeepers, Jaya and Vijay, because they are now conscious that persons who engage in the service of the Lord cannot be at fault at any stage. It is said that anyone who has implicit faith in the service of the Lord, or who actually engages in transcendental loving service, has all the good qualities of the demigods. Therefore, a devotee cannot be at fault if sometimes it is found that he is in error by accident or by some temporary arrangement. That should not be taken very seriously. The causing of Jan Vijay is here repented. Now the Kumaras are thinking in terms of their position in the modes of passion and ignorance, and they are prepared to accept any kind of punishment from the Lord. In general, when dealing with devotees, we should not try to find faults. In Bhagavad Gita also it is confirmed that devotee who faithfully serves the Lord, even if found to commit a gross mistake, should be considered a sadhu or saintly person. Due to former habits, he may commit some wrong, but because he is engaged in the service of the Lord, that wrong should not be taken very seriously. It's a nice purport, even though it's short. That is it's full of lessons, full of deeper insights that Prabhupada put in this purport here. The response of the Kumaras in their prayer to the Lord, that these two devotees of yours, they're actually faultless, but we have unfairly caused them. We are unfairly caused them. So therefore, our Lord, please punish us for this offense of your devotees. Punish us. So the Kumaras, they accept the responsibility of admitting their own fault, what they've done wrong in terms of causing the devotees of the Lord. So in their deepest heart of humility, they are making this prayer to our dear Lord. We are ready to go to hell for this offense that we have caused. Punish us. And we accept whatever punishment you award. Even though, yes, these gatekeepers cost to go to the material world, these gatekeepers. And these gatekeepers, they are not even protesting. See, that's another characteristic of devotees. Because devotees, they accept any situation. They don't object. Whatever, anything that is meted out to them, they'll accept. It's not that they want to assert their rights. It's not that. Devotees don't have such mentality. Okay, let me assert my right. This is due me. They don't have such. Devotees don't have such mentality. For example, there is one verse which Srila Prabhupada pointed out in this. No, actually, the Prabhupada simply talked about it. He mentioned about it in the purport. And the purpose mentioned about it. But the actual verse, which states how a devotee is full of good quality. He mentioned here in Bhagavatam 5th canto, chapter 18, text 12, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchanam Sava Guna Tata Samasate Suraha. This is just it's the last line. Said Manoro sinners Manoratina Sabato. It's like that all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, renunciation, everything, they become manifest in the body of devotee, of one who has developed unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of God. So Jan Vijay, they are pure devotees of the Lord. So they have all the good qualities. And that good quality is always with them. So the Kumaras, they realize that they have mistakenly caused this process, these great devotees. But how could this be? How could Jan Vijay, not Jan Kumaras, how could they not know that these are devotees of the Lord? And devotees of the Lord, because of their absorption in the Lord, and because of their remaining eternally in the service of the Lord, in general, they are faultless. They have no fault in anything. But how can they? Because it's true. So they come to know this. But how can they not know? How can they give this cause to the Kumaras? To these two God doorkeepers. So what is the answer to this? The answer is, this is the supreme will of the Lord himself. This is the Lord's own will. Everything is going only according to the supreme Lord's will. Nothing remain nothing remain hidden to him. This is the supreme Lord himself. Because the Lord is the reservoir of all good quality himself. And the Lord, he wants to perform so many pastimes with his devotees. So there was one time why in the spiritual world, the Lord Narayan, he wants to fight. He desired to fight. He wants to do some wrestling, some fighting. So he desired to fight. The Lord is also a person. He is the supreme person. So he also has desires. So the Lord desired to fight. And when the Lord desired to fight, in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha, no one can be his opponent, because everyone is simply engaging in rendering devotional service to the Lord. Well, you read the Bhagavatamrita in the second canto, Srila Sanatana Goswami was elaborating about the activities of the devotees in Vaikuntha planets, in the spiritual world, the activities, how devotees, their intensity, because looking, seeing the lotus feet of the Lord, and there's that sweet honey that's always coming from his lotus, that's always coming from the lotus feet. And this sweet honey, it's always devoted, they have a great eagerness to taste this honey. And tasting this honey is their life and soul, that's their life. So who want to fight with the Lord? No one want to fight with the Lord. But the Lord, he want to fight. He want to, just like a king, the king in ancient days, the king, they want to do some exhibition, they want to fight with the subjects. And of course, normally the best fighters in the best fighters in the country, they're always the one who are deputed to come and do some wrestling with the king as an amusement. But no one was there to fulfill the Lord's desire of wanting to fight. So these two devotees, Jan Vijay, so they went to the Lord and prayed to the Lord, our dear Lord, please allow us to fulfill your desire of fighting. Allow us, grant us this benediction, grant us this privilege to serve you in this capacity of fighting. Let us fight, the Lord kindly make it available for us so that we want to fulfill your desire of wanting to fight. After all, a devotee's mentality is to always how to satisfy the Lord. That is their only engagement, how the Lord can become happy, how the Lord can become blissful. That's devotee's engagement. Devotee's engagement. Devotees, they will never ask the Lord to give me this, give me that, give me this, give me happiness, give me this, give this. No, they will never do it. They want to serve the Lord, they want to serve Krishna. They want to serve Lord Krishna. So one time in Vrindavan, Srila Rupa Goswami, he was, he normally do Madhukari every day. Madhukari means going door to door and beg from the various householders to give some, some items, mainly for cooking. And they will not. And when they do that, they only take what is necessary for that day, which means they will never take more than what is not what is beyond what is needed to that day. That day they will not take more than that. That's why it's called Madhukari. So they have to do that every day. They never store any food, any provision. They collect only what is needed for that particular day only. So when that's good. Rupa Goswami, he was doing his Madhukari. So he actually desired so much. He wanted to make a feast. He wanted to prepare something very nice to his brother, Sanatana Goswami. And he also considered his brother to be like his guru also. Sanatana Goswami, they are both brothers, but Sanatana Goswami is the elder, while Rupa Goswami was the youngest. So Rupa Goswami, he desired so much to prepare something for Sanatana Goswami. So, and of course, being a Babaji, he could only go door to door and beg. So as he was going, so one very attractive young girl came to him. And he said, oh Baba, hey, Baba, I can see that you're here in our village and you're going door to door begging. Then my mother sent me with these items, with this provision. So Babaji kindly take these items which include the milk, rice, and several other ingredients. So Santa Rupa Goswami was very, very happy that, oh, how could this child knew that I want to prepare something for my brother, and now she has kindly brought me all these items of cooking, all the ingredients she has brought it. So taking all these items, he went to his ashram, to his kuti, and then he prepared this wonderful preparation of sweet rice. He prepared it. And after the preparation, offered to Krishna, and he took it to Sanata Goswami. So both Sanata Goswami and they started relishing this sweet rice. And this sweet rice happened to have the most indescribable taste, sweetness, indescribable. That's how come this item so the abundance of sweetness? How come? How's this? So both Sanata Goswami and Anuruddha Goswami, they are very, very excited. And Sanata Goswami asked Rupa Goswami that, how did you get these items? These amazing, how did you get them? These amazing items. And then Rupa Goswami explained how the previous day he had been wanting to prepare something for Sanata Goswami, wanted to prepare nice preparation. And this attractive young girl came and brought all brought all the items for the cooking. But the girl disappears. As soon as she gave me the attendant, the girl disappeared. I cannot see her again. And then, so both brothers, and then they realized that, oh, the person who had brought all these items is Srimati Radharani herself. Because the devotee desires something, so Srimati Radharani, she goes and fulfill it. So she had come. So when Sanata Goswami realized that, oh, it was Srimati Radharani who had brought all these items for this preparation. And then he started lamenting, oh, my dear brother, why are you allowing the divine couple to serve us? We are their servants. They should not serve us. We are their servants. So therefore, do not have this kind of desire again in the future. Don't have this desire again. We are their servants. We're not supposed to be taking service from them. We're not supposed to be taking service from them. So devotees that do not think, they don't say, oh, my dear Lord, give me this, protect me, give me this, allow me to, that's not devotees mode. Devotees mode is how to serve Krishna always. How to serve Krishna 24 hours a day. So when the Kumaras, when Jai Vijay, when they approached the Lord, that please, our dear Lord, let us fulfill your desire of fighting. So the Lord accepted it. He accepted their prayer. He said, okay, this will come to be. This will come to pass. That yes, my desire to fight will be manifest, and you, my dear devotees, will be the instrument to achieve these desires of mine. You be the instrument. So the Lord promised Jan Vijay that yes, this is going to pass. So there was one day when Mother Lakshmi, the wife of Lord Narayana, she had gone to the material world in order to fulfill the desires of her devotee. Because Lakshmi Devi, she has many, many devotees, and everyone worship her so that they can become rich. So Mother Lakshmi is always going about household to household because everyone is worshiping her. See, that's why she has another name called Chancha. Chancha means restless. She will never be in one place, or she always moving from house to house to fulfill the desires of the devotees. So during one such trip, when she had gone out of the material spiritual world to fulfill the wishes of her devotees, and then she was returning back to the palace in the Vaikuntha, to the palace of Lord Narayana. And then as she was returning, the Jan Vijay, they tried to check her. They tried to, like block the entrance. They tried to do that. Then of course, then Lakshmi Devi, she just look at them, and then she passed. She went to the palace. So Lakshmi Devi was not happy that they tried to check her. They tried to check her into entering the palace. So which means they've committed offense unto Lakshmi Devi, who is the wife of Lord Narayana. So they have to be a retribution for this offense committed to Lakshmi Devi. However, how could this be? This is the Lord's own desire that is trying to check Lakshmi Devi. This is the Lord's own wish, because the Lord, he accomplished his wishes in various unimagined ways, in various unassuming ways that the Lord assumed his wishes. So the Lord said, okay, now these two persons, they have offended my wife, so they have to pay for it, because they've offended my wife, so they have to pay for it. And then the incident of the Kumaras came. When the Kumaras came, and the Javijay checked the Kumaras, that you are such. Who are you? The four naked children. Who do you think you are? You can just enter the material, just spiritual, just like that. And then immediately, then the Kumaras caused them, oh, you see the duality. So you don't deserve to be here. So go to the material world, whereby you can see the duality. You go to the material world. And then the Lord came onto the scene. So everything is according to the desires of the Lord. That's something we have to do. Hmm? Because the devotees of the Lord, they are never really faulty. They never really have any fault. They become faultless because they're always engaging in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And when the devotee engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord actually take care of, even if there may be anything of lacking that devotee, the Lord actually take care of all those circumstances. The Lord take care of them. Hmm? Like in the Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna telling Arjuna, Lord Krishna tell Arjuna, he said, Apiche Sudracharo, Bhajate Mam Ananyabak, Sadhu Vasha Manta Vya Samya Vyapasito Isa. That means my devotee is so that even if one commits the most abominable action, but as long as he's engaged in devotional service, is to always be considered to be saintly, because he's properly situated in the transcendence. Hmm? Because the devotee, the central point of their activities is the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. It's a Bhajate Man. Bhajate Man means render service unto me. Bhajante Man. Then a Dridra means with determination. So the devotees, they have no other focus in life. They have no other determination except the service of the Supreme Lord. And that's why they are called Achyuta Gotra. Achyuta Gotra means they belong to the family of the Lord, devotees. Like here in India, practically every person in India, they have what we call Gotra, lineage. And a person's lineage can be known by what kind of name they have. So you have different Gotras are there, the lineage. Those lineage may be attributed to particular rishis or to particular demigods. They also call it Vansa. Vansa means the lineage, Vansa. But devotees, they do not belong to any lineage in this material world. They only belong to, there's only one lineage. That's Achyuta Gotra. Because why they are Narayana Para. Narayana Para means they always absorbed in the loving service of Lord Narayana. So they are never at any fault. And the Lord is saying that even if you see such devotees committing the most abominable actions, you should always consider them to be saintly. And then the Lord said, was that in the next verse, that he said, for a person who have such mentality about the devotees, if a person say, oh, the devotees of the Lord are never faulty, even though he may be seeing such devotees performing so many horrible actions. But the person said, devotees of the Lord are never faulty. So if a person have such mentality, that person himself, he become dharmika, he become religious. That person himself, he will attain the ultimate goal of life. He himself become dharmic himself. For when one have such positive mentality towards the devotees of the Lord. So therefore, Krishna tell Arjuna, Kanteya, Patijanihi, Name Bhaktiya Panashiti. My dear Arjuna, make a declaration, make a big announcement. Make a big announcement. My devotee will never perish. My devotee will never perish. Make announcement. Now, why is Lord Krishna telling Arjuna to make such announcement? That why is he not saying it himself? Why is he telling Arjuna to make the announcement? He could have said so himself. But he's telling Arjuna to make the announcement because Arjuna is a great devotee of the Lord. And if a great devotee of the Lord says something, the Lord will always protect that. If a devotee make a vow, the Lord will protect that vow. Whereas the Lord himself, his own vow may be broken sometimes. He may make a vow, he may make a promise, and it may be broken. Just like what happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Lord Krishna said that I'm only going to drive the Arjuna's chariot, and I will not carry any weapon, nor will I engage in any fight. I'm just going to drive Arjuna's chariot. So the Lord said that before the beginning of the battle. But during the battle of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna's life was in danger, because Bhishma Dev, he wanted Lord Krishna to break his promise of not carrying the weapon. So he put Arjuna in danger. And when Arjuna was in danger, Krishna came. He came down from the chariot and took up a weapon to try to kill Bhishma Dev, because Arjuna's life was in danger. So to protect his devotees, Krishna broke his promise. But if the same other promise that the devotees make, Lord Krishna will make sure that that vow will always remain. And there are many aspects of divine love. So many aspects of divine love is there. So the Lord's devotees are, basically they are faultless. There's one verse also, which is there this is in the first canto Bhagavatam. It says here, Tirakita Vipalda Saptik Kshipta Hatapi Nashita Pratikuvanti Tadbhakta Prabhavo Pihi. So I mention here that the devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. Jan Vijay, they are powerful enough. They have all the spiritual power, even much more powerful than Kumaras. So they could have, therefore, they could have neutralized the curse which has been given to them by the Kumaras, the curse of going to the material world. They could have easily neutralized them. They have all the power themselves. They have all the power. They could have neutralized it. Or even they could have counter-caused Jan Vijay. I mean, they could have counter-caused the Kumaras. Okay, you kids, you think you are powerful? Okay, let's show you. You know, they could have exerted themselves. They have all the power. But no, they didn't do that. Because a devotee accepts every situation, whatever situation is meted out to them. A devotee will accept it. In the case of King Chitraketu, when King Chitraketu, when he was touring his kingdom, he was going in the kingdom. One time he was in the area sky, in the area plane, and he was going. And as he was going, he saw Lord Shiva and his wife. Lord Shiva was actually sitting. It was in a banyan tree, below a banyan tree. Lord Shiva was sitting, and he was addressing, big assemblies of self-realized persons, sages, he was enlightening them. Self-realized sages, gateway riches. And at the same time, as he was doing that, his wife was sitting on his lap, Parvati Devi. She was sitting on his lap. Normally, so just imagine you are giving a lecture, and then your wife come and sit on your lap. So just imagine, like people will think that you are crazy. So Chitraketu saw this. He saw Lord Shiva giving lecture to great assemblies of siddhas, exalted personalities, but his wife was sitting on his lap. So Chitraketu, he made a mockery of this. He said, "Oh, what is this? How Lord Shiva, great person, Lord Shiva, and then you are sitting, and then your wife is sitting on your lap." While addressing the great Paramahansas, great brahmacharis. You're addressing them and your wife is sitting on your lap. So what is this? So he made this criticism. Lord Shiva did not say anything, but his wife Parvati Devi, she could not tolerate it. She said, "What an upstart you are. You're an upstart. What do you know about renunciation? What do you know about spiritual discipline? What do you know? You don't even know nothing about Lord Shiva. So therefore, I curse you. You become a demon. I curse you to become a demon. You don't deserve to maintain this position you have. So therefore, I curse you to become a demon." So hearing this, so Chitraketu Maharaj, being a great devotee himself, he accepted the curse. He said, "My dear mother, please forgive me. I accepted your curse that you have given me. So this is your curse on me. I consider it a great mercy on me." So, and then Lord Shiva having a conversation with his wife, saying, "Oh, my dear Devi, you can see the great opulence of the devotees. You can see the greatness of the devotees of the Lord. That they may be put in any circumstance in this life, they accept it. Narayana Parasave na Kutashna Bhivyati Swaga Pavaga Narakesu Apit Sudasinat." My dear Devi, Narayana Para, the devotees of the Lord, they accept any situation in life. It doesn't matter if they have to go to heaven or they have to go to hell. or they have to go enter into any abominable species of life. It doesn't matter to them. They accept. Why? Because they are Narayana Para, because they are engaged, they are devotees of the Lord. So therefore, they accept whatever situation is being meted out to them. They accept it. So that's how a devotee will never complain. A devotee will never make any effort to assert his right. Like, yeah, this is my right. No. A devotee make all the effort. In the Shastakam, Mahaprabhu said, Hasti Shava Padam Pinastumam, Adasanam Atana Karotuba, Yatataba Vidatu Lampato, Maprana Natasusevanapa. So, my dear Lord, I don't mind if you are present before me, or you are not present before me. I don't mind. I don't mind if you are present. If you make me, you can make me happy by not being present before me, or not make me happy by not. I don't mind. I simply, want to serve you. So that's devotee's mode. This law is for those who have developed this love for the Lord. So Jan Vijay, they did not protest, and the Lord told Jan Vijay when he came to the scene. And the Lord is like the Lord said, my dear devotee, addressing Jan Vijay, my dear devotees, now you have to go to the material world. You have to go to the material world. You can make, there are two choices you can make. One choice is that you can take birth 7 times in the material world as my devotee, or you can go 3 times to the material world as demon. Then you can fight with me. See, the Lord, now I want to fulfill his desire of wanting to fight. So he told Jan Vijay, now go to material world, either 3 lives as devotee, as demon, or 7 lives as devotee. So Jan Vijay, of course, obviously, they do not want to be in the material world for too long. They don't want to be in the material world for too long. So they accept, they say, our dear Lord, we want to go 3 times to the material world. We want to be 3 lifetimes. We're going to become demon. We're going to become demon in the 3 lifetimes. And in this way, we will become your adversary. We become your adversary, and then in order to, and to fight with you, we will become your adversary. So Jan Vijay, this is the result of, this is the background of Jan Vijay coming. As we're going to be reading later on in minutes in the Bhagavatam, we're going to be reading how Jan Vijay, how they became great demons, whereby they become the first birth, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, greatest demon in the universe. And second birth, they were Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And the third birth, they were Shishupal and Dantavakra. And in all these 3 births as demons, they never stop thinking of the Lord. They always thinking of the Lord. Even though, yes, such thinking may be negatively, because they are thinking of him in terms of being his enemy, because they want to fight with him. So, but they're always thinking of Krishna. They never stop thinking of Krishna. That's the thing. They never stop thinking of Lord. So, which means what you are thinking of is what matters, not the nature of your thought, but what you are thinking about is what matters. And because they're always thinking of the Lord, they never stop thinking. And so after the Lord killed them, so ultimately they go back to the Lord. Ultimately, when after they are killed by the Lord Himself. So Many, many lessons are there. So these devotees, Jan Vijay, they are lovers of God. They are the servants of Lord Narayana. And they always remain the Lord's devotees. Even though when the Lord want them to be the demons, so they accept because they know that by becoming demons, this will satisfy the Lord's desire. This is satisfies desire. So therefore they agree to become demons. So everything is in the service of the Lord. Everything is for the element of the Lord. So the main thing, the lesson that we can learn from this incident, the lesson, the acceptance of the Lord's wishes, the acceptance of the Lord's wishes. The devotee, whatever comes his way is what he'll accept. And also the humility that is there. Because the Kumaras, they realize their mistake. That, oh, these two devotees, they are faultless. The devotee has no fault. But we have caused them. We have rendered them a cause. And we have given them this cause. They're not even protesting. They didn't protest. They just actually did not protest. They didn't. As a matter of fact, they were happy that yes, now we get to fulfill the Lord's desire. So the Kumara, they realized their mistake, and then they pray to the Lord. Our dear Lord, please, whatever punishment we've been given to this associate of yours, let that punishment come to us. Let this come to us. Let us suffer the result of our own actions. Let us suffer it. And they are ready to accept, they are ready to do it, to undergo the suffering, because they know that yes, they should be punished for their actions towards the giant. They should be punished. So devotees become humble, and in humble, when they come to the service of the Lord, they reflect. Akshepa means regret. Just like when you study the Sharanagati prayers of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you find that the prayers of regret, of how we have been so much in this material world, of how we have been so much averse to the Supreme Lord, trying to be in the competition with the Lord, be in the competition. So the first characteristic of devotees is that they become regretful to all their previous materialistic involvement. They become regretful. They lamenting. Hari Hari Bifali Janama Gunaino. Oh my dear Lord, what have become of me? Manusya Jamana Paya Radha Krishna Nabhajiya. Oh my dear Lord, I have come. I have attained this human form of life, which is very, very difficult to attain. But so happened that I was given this human form of life, but I did not take to the worship of Radha Krishna. I did not take to your worship. So therefore, what kind of person I am? Jane Yasu Niyabishoka, you know. I'm just like a person who has knowingly drank poison. So devotees have this kind of self-condemnation of all their previous action when they come to the service of the Lord. And then with humility, they beg the Lord for the service. They beg the Lord's devotees for the service in the height of humility. So Kumaras, they are in a very, very humble mode. They are praying to the Lord that, please, our dear Lord, please, let us suffer the reaction of this, what you have done. Let us suffer the reactions of this, what you have done. Now, as we're going to be going forward in this narration, how the Lord is going to explain to them that, yes, this episode, this is my own arrangements. I have a plan for everything. So therefore, my dear sages, you don't have to worry, because the Lord has a plan. So what matters most is the Lord's own plan. That's what matters. It's the Lord's plan. And it's the Lord's desire. That's what devotees pursue. The fulfillment of the Lord's desire, that is the only the only goal of the devotees, how the Lord desires can be fulfilled. So a lot of lesson is there in this chapter, very interesting lesson. And of course, as we said before again and again, that yes, devotee never fall down. There's no fall from the spiritual world. So don't let us continue that, oh, this Jan Vijay, they were in the spiritual world, now they had to fall down because to fall down. No, this is just an arrangement, the lesson the Lord want to, conduct the pastime. The Lord want to conduct the pastime. So this arrangement of Jan Vijay coming to the material world was done. And when the Lord came along the single death to kill Hiranyakashipu, even though this appearance as Hiranyakashipu and the killing of Hiranyakashipu apparently as a result of torturing of his own devotee, Prahlad, but the appearance of Hiranyakashipu was not because to protect Prahlad Maharaj. No, that's not the reason. The reason why Lord Nrsimhadev came is for his own devotee, who is actually Jai, who is actually Hiranyakashipu. The Lord came for him. Prahlad is a devotee, is always protected, always protected the Lord. Automatic. But the Lord came in order to fulfill his own promise with his devotee. He's going to go to the material world as my devotee, as a demon, and I'm going to fight with you. And now the Lord has come. He's now meeting, he's now meeting Hiranyakashipu, but he's going to fight with him for more than a year. And then he ultimately, then they kill him. So the Lord came. His appearance was actually for the Nrsimha, for the Hiranyakashipu, not necessarily for Prahlad Maharaj. So this, all this lila was performed this way. Okay. So the Lord's lila is extremely very beautiful. His lila is beautiful, and the Lord, his lila is meant to give realization, is meant to give happiness to his devotees. So I'm going to stop here. If anybody have any question or comments, you can please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, as always. Yes, of course, there are so much to learn from these pastimes we're reading. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, reflections, you may want to ask or share, please indicate using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question or share your reflections. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, well, of course, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada said so much, even though the paper is not as lengthy as others, but Srila Prabhupada said so much in that paper, and we're trying to be devotees. So I think we need to understand what Srila Prabhupada is saying and try to follow. Srila Prabhupada is saying in the paper that even when a devotee is at fault, devotees who are trying to address the faulty devotee should understand that he is a saint. And some other part also, Srila Prabhupada said that actually no devotee has fault. So now the question is, what sort of devotee? Because I think, and I believe that there are different categories of devotees. So somebody like me struggling to even finish my japa and think of Krishna, I'm putting on tilak. I have a new name, Sahadev. So I think myself a devotee. And if I'm doing something there cannot be fault with what I'm doing. I just want you to help us understand what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that the devotees are not faulty. And even if you think they are faulty, you should be very careful how you address it, if you may help.
So, and of course, that's the general instruction is that, yes, the devotee is always great. And of course, as you had hinted, that being a devotee doesn't mean somebody who has just come in with undress and they call yourself a devotee. A devotee is actually very, very rare. A real devotee is very rare personality. You know, it's very, very, unless we have completely given up all the desire for sense gratification, until you have come to the point of exhaustion in this material world, we cannot call ourselves devotee. So being a devotee is very, very rare. It's the most rare thing to be a devotee. We have to, if you want to understand the characteristic of devotees, we have to see what the scripture says about the nature of devotee. What the scripture says. Yes, if I can get to it a little bit. When Laurent, he was discussing with his brothers about who's a devotee and what the nature of the characteristics of a saint, certainly devotee, and just ordinary persons or non-saintly persons. What is their characteristics? So let me just get into what Loram is saying. I'm just going to open it here. If asked a very deep question, they require a very deep answer to it. Okay, not this way.
Srila Prabhupada, if you may want to also talk about 930, because Srila Prabhupada made a reference to that, Bhagavad Gita 930, which you also did. And Srila Prabhupada also said so much in that purport.
Well, that's Apiche
Sudracharo.
I know that. So I'm just trying to talk about what is a devotee.
Okay.
That's what I want to talk about it. Because Apiche Sudracharo means that a devotee may commit so many faults, but it's still saintly. It's still saintly. So I just want to what Loram said about the. Let's see if I can open the section. Because the statement is there in the scriptures. Second, I'm just opening this section. I don't know. because there is a big discussion when Laurent was talking with us there in the forest, and Laurent was talking to his brother. Okay. This Dorot's connection is still sent. Because when we hear this word devotees, we should not be too eager to say that, oh, how many devotees? This is a devotee. But devotees actually means quality. There is a very distinguished characteristics of a devotee, which is called the saintly life. Okay, I'm trying to, maybe I can get there. Anyway, it's I'm trying to open this section, but it's like a big section. The simplest way is that to be a devotee, one has to be like a soul surrender to the Lord. For example, there are 3 categories of devotee. You have the Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttama. So 3 types of devotees. So there was one time, one Lord Chaitanya Prabhu in Jagannath Puri. So there are inhabitants of Kulinagram. They used to visit Chaitanya Prabhu every year during Rath Yatra. So one year, the inhabitants of the Kulinagram, they asked the Lord, how do we know who's a devotee? How can we recognize a devotee? So Mahaprabhu replied that a devotee is a person who is always who chant the Lord's name. A devotee is a person who even just once chanted the Lord's name should be considered a devotee. So they has this question. So Mahaprabhu will give this reply. Anybody who just chant the Lord's name is a devotee. And then the following year, when the same inhabitants of Kulinagram, when they came to Jagannath Theatre, and then they again met Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu, then they asked Mahaprabhu again the same question, our dear Lord, how do we know who's a devotee? And then the Lord replied, a devotee will be the one who is always chanting, is constantly chanting the Lord's name. He never stopped chanting. He's always chanting the Lord's name. So that's the second year as the Lord gave the same question, the same answer, but different answer. And again, the third year, when the inhabitant again came and asked the Lord the same question, how do we know who's a devotee? And the Lord replied that yes, a devotee is the one just by seeing him, one want to chant the name of Krishna. Just by seeing him, you won't want to chant the Lord's name. Just by the presence of a devotees, people are automatically motivated to want to chant the name of Krishna. They want to become devotees just by seeing him. So in this way, the Lord described somebody just chant the Lord's name just once, a person just always chanting, and a person just by seeing him want to chant. So that's the topmost devotee. So which means that the Lord is making a distinguished characteristics of how to understand devotees. Normally, for the Kanishta devotees, they usually are very, very mindful of who's offending them. You know, they're very, very eager to protest of who's offending them, this and that. But the topmost devotees, they They don't even look at themselves as devotees. They see others as devotees, except themselves. The topmost Bhagavad devotees. Now, this verse, which is the famous verse, a person, even though he committed the most abominable activities, but just by the virtue of his absorption in my service, he should always be considered saintly, because after all, a devotee will never fall. The Lord will never allow a devotee to fall. So even though a devotee may commit mistakes, because sometimes, according to the samskara that we have, because we all have different nature, all our past sinful activities are there. And according to the accumulation of our past sinful activities, so in this life, we are acting accordingly. Our behaviors, it's all according to our previous samskaras, what we have accumulated in our past lives. So a devotee may have certain habit because of past life, because of what has the nature which has come from the past life. Therefore, a devotee have a certain habit. So, however, because the devotional service is the most purifying factor, when we come devotional service, normally all the reactions of past sins are eradicated when we come to the platform devotional service. So normally we have to see the Lord in everything. So when we are told not to see the fault in the devotees, then we have to simply see the Lord's action in everything. And the more we see the Lord's action in everything, the more advanced we become. The more advanced we become. Yes, of course, difficult to not find fault when you are, especially you are living in the ashram, and devotees, you see different devotees, they act in all kinds of ways. So it's difficult not to find fault. It's difficult. But the more advancement we make, the more progress we make in spiritual life, the less we will find fault in other devotees. The less we find fault in others. No matter how horrible people may behave, but the more advancement we make, the more we will see less fault in people. That's basically it.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you so much, Babuji. Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's very important we delineate the different categories of devotees, even though we try to honor every single devotee. And in fact, every living entity for that matter, says devotees respect all living beings. I'm Sadhuta Prabhu, please you me on mute.
Hare Krishna, your grace, please can you accept my spiritual obeisances?
Hare Krishna.
All glories to you, and all glories to all glories to Sri Prabhupada, and all glories to wonderful assembly devotees. Please, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm in the countryside, and the network.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
You can speak.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah.
Grace, my question is about. Thank you for the class. My question is about when you said that Krishna came. Now, said that Narasimha Dev came not for Prahlad Maharaj, but came for Hiranyakashipu. That's where my question is. And there's a lot just going through my mind. Because you do mention that Krishna a lot to fight, and they want to come and help Krishna to fight. And Krishna have excitement in fighting. But Krishna, my question, I have two questions. For instance, if you are going to fight somebody and you know that this person I want to be
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. We cannot hear you.
Yeah, we are losing you. If you can just repeat your last statement.
Yeah.
Is he hearing us? You said it's some
Yeah,
countryside.
yeah, it's in the countryside. Near Vrindavan area.
Oh, it's in Northern Devon. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they have good internet there.
Yeah, but I think it went a little deeper.
Deep into the woods.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
we lost him?
yeah, we lost him.
Do you understand his question?
Yeah, I understood, but he was trying to ask a question about the Supreme Lord coming or playing pastime with Hiranyakashipu, much more than even Prahlad, because like you said, the Supreme Lord is always with his devotees, and the devotees are always with the Lord. But the Supreme Lord wanted to have this fighting encounter, and he had to do it with his devotee. So that is where his question was coming from, but I didn't get exactly what the question was. We might not be able to get him anytime soon. So if any devotee has something else to ask, please you may do.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Madhavan Prabhu, yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. All grace unto your little Prabhu. Thank you very much for coming on board today. I just an aspect I want us to focus, which is in alignment with what you have carefully explained. Like Jesus said that we should not judge, because usually when we pass judgment, our judgment might not be very accurate in the fact that we might not get all the necessary information to pass a very accurate judgment. That's point one. Then the second point, we ourselves, we should never consider ourselves perfect. Only Krishna is perfect. So just like you explained, maybe we have to be very careful how we pass judgment or criticize or find fault in others. And especially devotees who has devoted his energy into rendering service to the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
And of course, the Guru will find faults. We find faults to point out in the right direction. Usually, we find faults because of our own envy. Then we find fault in others. The Guru find fault because the Guru want to direct us to the right path, want to correct us. So yes, we've had so many instructions we've been hearing about that. Yes, we should always consider the devotees are faultless. And that's what the Acharya is always explaining. And of course, devotees are not the same as the self. When we criticize a devotee, now when we criticize a neophyte devotees, the repercussion is not really there. But if we criticize a pure devotees, then obviously there's repercussion. They will suffer the consequence of criticizing the topmost, the Bhagavad devotee. The repercussion will be there. So we have to be very, very careful. So offense to devotee is considered to be a mad elephant offense. When a mad elephant enter a garden, that elephant will destroy that garden. So,
No.
so the scriptures.
No, we can advise. We can give advice or our opinion.
Yeah, we should definitely. We should always be well-wisher of others. And basically, whatever fault we see in others, that fault is within us. It's just like we're not ready to, we don't want to admit it. So normally we want to cover our own fault by pointing out the other's faults. But the actual fault is within us. That's the whole thing. When we are not humble ourselves, we're full of arrogance, self-praise, all these things is there. So then we are very eager to criticize others. Anyway, the more, as mentioned, these people we are reading, that the more we can accept, we can see the Lord behind everything. The whole thing is also the whole thing how to see the Lord behind everything. The more we can do that, the more advancement we ourselves will make. The more the change will come in our life, if you can see that. Just like in our society today, so many things are going on. So many misconceptions are going on. So many lot of misunderstandings are there that is going on. So how do we overcome? How do we stay focused? How do we stay sane? But devotee, as I said, we have to be tolerant. We have to see Krishna beyond everything. Just like we are in a situation currently in our society, our organization. There's a big debate going on about some big issues. And what they've asked me I should make a contribution, I should write about this. I thought of writing, and at the same time I said that what's the point of writing? Like whatever I write, somebody else is gonna come with another idea. So what's the point? Let Krishna, everything's going on, and Krishna is simply smiling at everything, whatever goes on. Krishna is simply smiling about it. So let us see the will of Krishna behind everything. Let us see the Lord's will behind everything. That's it.
Thank
Hare
you very
Krishna.
much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Madhavan.
I don't think we got Sadhuta back on, like I said. So, well, Madhavan Prabhu, thank you for your contribution. Ishara Prabhu, thank you for your scriptural advice. I have always had a problem with this fault finding. And it seems to me that if talking about a situation involving a devotee is a fault finding, which every sane devotee wants to avoid, then nobody should say anything any devotee says or does. And I do not think that is also the appropriate step, in the sense that, for example, if somebody is living in the ashram, he or she is duty bound to follow the 4 regulative principles. And if someone is staying in the ashram and is not following the 4 regulative principles, and regardless of your tag, but being an ashram devotee, you also see this person not following the 4 regulative principles. And you say that saying something to this person who may even be your peer, you're finding fault, so you keep quiet. I don't know how that is going to help. So these things are complex in the sense that we all know the dangers of fault finding, criticizing, but at the same time, I also believe that because it is a movement, it is an institution, certain expectation must be there, at least for the public, to know that this is what this organization stands for. And if the organization does not live up to that expectation, then there is a problem. So, I don't know. But for me, okay, go ahead, Prabhuji.
So that's why the management is there to check on all these things. in ashram or the community of devotees, the management is supposed to be on top of all things that goes on in the ashram or in the community. So, and the management, just like Prabhupada said, that I found the GBC, and GBC members supposed to travel to all the centers and to make sure that all the devotees are following. That devotees are to follow our principles. So Prabhupada said, I've created the GBC so that they make sure that all the devotees are following. Because in the ashram, devotees are not all the same, have the same mentality. Some we have devotees in the ashram, some are very, very serious. But we have some just looking for a place to sleep and eat. So is the management, it's the weight is on the management. So many imbalances going on. So the management are the ones that's supposed to set up the standard and make sure that yes, if something is wrong, they have to correct it. If a person is not behaving properly, do so many improper things, not following the principle, then the management must make sure that the fellow person follows or bundle out of the ashram. That's the management it's meant to do. But if the management is not doing that, then we're having a weak institution. If the management is not doing what it's supposed to, we're having a weak, and when you're having a weak institution, so what happens is that the devotees are not happy. No one is happy because the management are not doing what they're not supposed to do. And you, as an individual devotee, it has the importance trying to point out so many faults, many situations. But you find that you simply be talking until you get tired. Nobody will do anything about it until you get tired. Because the management refused to do what they're supposed to do. So that's one of the salient point about devotion, about the ashram life, Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, of course, one can practice Krishna consciousness in one's own. One doesn't have to be part of an ashram, even part of an organization. Krishna consciousness is beyond all these things. Krishna consciousness is independent. To practice bhakti is independent itself. But when you are practicing as association of others, you're living especially living in the ashram or part of the organization. So ultimately, Maya Devi, she will give us so many tests. So many tests she will give us in the form of making devotees act in a numbers of ways will make us gasp that what is this person doing? Why this person is like this? Why this person is like this? So which means we continuously see the misbehaviors of others. And we're talking about, but we're not, if you're not in a management situation, we say that situation is not changing. So the result is that it gives us depression. We become depressed. Because why this person is not changing, or why nobody's doing anything about it, then we become depressed about it. So because we become depressed about it, so that is not helping us either. That's not helping us. So therefore, the problem is the leadership. If there's a concern in the community of Vaishnavas, then the leadership is the one supposed to step in. And just okay, this should not be done. This is going to be the standard. This not be. But if the leadership is mute, what can you do? You can't do anything. The leadership is small. But I found out Acharya has set up the structure that yes, you have the temple, you have the GBC, you have the temple president. Because nowadays in ISKCON we have so many layers out there. Layers are there. The GBC, the regional secretary, the zonal supervisor, so many layers are there nowadays. Many layers are there. But again, the practice of Krishna consciousness is individual thing. Because as you grow old, many of us who have become old now. Well, see, which means ultimately we are not in the confine of a particular GBs or anything like that. You know, GBs, no GBs has for the last 20-something years, no GBs has ever asked me that, oh, Ishvara, what are you doing? What is the nature of your service? You know, and nobody have asked me that, because the time will come whereby we are basically devotees are independent. You know, like we are come to church whereby you practice on your own, and then you learn. You have to pray for the Lord's mercy on yourself. But if you're in the ashram growing up, then those things are there. And we have to pray to Krishna that, yes, if I'm going to be in an environment, if I'm going to be in a situation whereby I have to say to the examples of others, then the Lord, please let me be in the right situation. Let me be in the right situation. I remember many times when I used to be with Selena Bhakti Maharaj, you know, whenever I used to tell him that, Maharaj, my main devotees are misbehaving improperly, what she will do? So Maharaj will always reply to me that it's better you become the examples to others. You become the example. If you become the good association, then others will follow. I remember Maharaj used to tell me that you become the good association so that others can follow. So which means for the owners upon us to become the good example, when we become saintly ourselves, then others will also follow. When we become saintly, then others will follow us.
Hare Krishna. Amsadita Prabhu, are you able to speak?
Is it back on?
Yes, Your Grace. I'm sorry. I was.
All
The
right.
network was very bad.
Okay, so you may go ahead.
So the question I wanted to ask is about Krishna and the
Hiranyakashipu.
fight and the Hiranyakashipu. So all I've been hearing that Krishna came to save Prahlad Maharaj. And for instance, if you are fighting, Krishna liked to fight with his friends in wrestling, and he enjoyed that. But when it comes to Krishna fighting with the demons, I want to know what excitement does Krishna have in that fight with the demons? Is it because of he's going to save them, or the real fight? Because if you are fighting with somebody and you know this person, he cannot fight with me, I'm going to kill him. So what makes Krishna have excitement in that? So is it because he's going to, the demons here, he's going to fight them, he's going to save them? That's why the excitement is, or the fight. And at the same time, Prahlad Maharaj, Krishna came to, all we hear that Krishna came to save him. But when you said today that Krishna really came for Hiranyakashipu, I was a little bit, this is the first time I'm hearing that. So if you can explain more on that.
If you look at it, when Prahlad was a child in the womb of his mother, and the demigods, they took the mother away, thinking that because the wife of Hiranyakashipu, she's carrying this child, and if you allow this child to be born, the child will be may more powerful than the father. So, and when they took the child, the baby away, they kidnapped they took the wife of Hiranyakashipu, because Hiranyakashipu, he had gone to the forest to perform tapasya, austerity. So when the demigod headed by Indra, when they were taking her away, and then Narada Muni met them and asked them what they are doing, why are they taking this woman away? So the demigod explained that, well, because he's carrying a child, Hiranyakashipu's child, which is going to be more dangerous than the father. So therefore, we want to take this child, we want to take it away so that we can kill the child. But the Naramoni told them that this child within the womb of his mother cannot be killed because it's a devotee of the Lord. Even if you try, you will not be successful. You will not be successful. You cannot kill him because he's the Lord's devotee. He's a great devotee of the Lord. So therefore, forget about what you are doing. So then the Naramoni took the wife to his ashram, and they're giving instruction, actually giving instruction to Prahlad while in the womb of his mother. So Prahlad is always, because he never stopped thinking of the Lord. It's always remembering the Lord. Because there are nine categories of devotees, and those categories of devotees, they are known by their specific characteristics. Sukadev was known for speaking. Parashimara was known for hearing, and Prahlad is known for remembering the Lord. So they have their specific characteristics. So Prahlad, it is always under the protection of the Lord, always, because it's always he never forget the Lord. You know that several times his father tried to kill him several times, but never successful. Never. Several times tried to kill him, but could not be killed. Because the Lord, the devotees is always remembering the Lord. So the Lord had made promise to Jai Vijay in the spiritual that I will come and fight with you. You're going to become demon, then I will fight with you. So because the Lord, he want to fight, he want to amuse himself. So the Lord's actually is called Lila. Lila means play, pastimes. It's not something, it's not an activity that you have to do. It's not that you are forced to do by material energy. It's a play. When the king is fighting the wrestler who is a subject of the king, the king is simply amusing himself. That's all. So every activity that the Lord does is for his own amusement. So the Lord has made a promise that I'm going to come and then I'm going to fight with you. So that promise is his appearance as Hiranyakashipu. When he came, and he came within the palace of Hiranyakashipu. And that fight, it's not just a one-day fight. That fight took more than 1 year. It's a big fight. Because the Lord want to, he want to relish fighting. So it took more than a year. It took more than a year of wrestling together, of more than 1 year. It wasn't like, it's not like just took only one. You think it's only that time we break the Nishingadev Ekadasi, on the Nishingadev Day, appearance day, when we break the fast at dawn, at dusk at 7 p.m., something like that. It's not that the Nishingadev just it's only that fight only took place at that time. The fight took place more than 1 year, and ultimately, then when all the demigods, when they were praying, oh, dear Lord, please stop playing. Please kill this fellow. Stop playing, because by not killing him, he's giving us so much anxiety. So the demigod, they prayed the Lord and said, okay, now it's time for this fellow to be killed. And then the Lord kill him, by at the same time keeping the promise of Lord Brahma, which he had given to Hiranyakashipu. So the Lord does it for his own amusement. It's a whole pastime thing. So protecting Prahlad is not the main reason why Lord Shingadev came. The main reason he came is to fulfill his own desire and to grant mercy to his devotee. That now you've come to meet me again, and in this time, this is the first birth as a demon, because he has to come 3 times. The first time as a demon, he fight with the Lord, he'll be killed, and then gets taken to another birth that's going to be killed. And the 3rd birth, that's where Shishupal merged into the body of Lord Krishna. That's the liberation, leaving the material world. You see? So there is a lot we can learn. This is whatever I'm saying. This is from the writings of the writings and realizations from the acharyas, from the previous acharyas, whatever I'm saying. So it's not a speculation thing. This is from the realization of writings of the acharyas. The acharyas, they're giving us so many insights on how to understand all these various, various points.
Yes, yes, thank you. I was, with my little mind, I was just wondering that maybe Krishna coming to save the devotees is what give him the excitement, but the fight, because I think fighting is something which is violence, and so that was what I was thinking. Let me ask this question. So
when the king of the city, when the king is doing wrestling with the subject, with the best wrestlers in the city, the king is simply want to amuse himself. It's not that the king has no animosity towards the wrestler. He simply want to amuse himself. So therefore, I want to wrestle with the best fighters, with the best fighters in the, in town. So normally they will bring the best fighters, and that fighter will fight with the king. So the king simply want to amuse himself. So that's just it. So this is just the transcendental activities of the Lord. That's what we should understand. The Lord's own transcendental activities.
thank you, Hare Krishna.
Our desires is coming from the original desires. Whatever desire we have is also within the Lord. So all our desires come originally from the Lord himself. Just like, Lord Krishna, he wanted to understand the nature of love of the devotees of Vrindavan. He wanted to come to understand the nature of their love. Why they love him so much, and what kind of happiness they get when they are rendering loving service to him. So because the Lord is unable to understand that in his capacity as Krishna, so he came as Chaitanya Prabhu, just to understand the love of himself and to understand the love and the kind of happiness devotees get. So he came as Chaitanya Prabhu to have all these experiences. So that's the Lord's the merciful nature when he performs his leelas.
Yes, thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Well,
Krishna.
I guess we're going to humbly request devotees to unmute. Excuse me. Devotees, we humbly going to request you all to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest gratitude to our beloved speaker for today, His Grace Ishara Prabhu, for sharing his love.
And just one final thing.
Yes.
I will request everyone to visit our website, touchtomedia.com, and try to get some of our books, because I've published so many books of the Acharya, so many literatures. So I can request you to visit the website, you order some of these books, and then we send you these books to your particular address. It doesn't matter where you are. We will send the books to you. You can order the books as hardbound copies or as ebooks. They're all available in both ways. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Touch me, dear. Yeah. Well, so devotees, you may all unmute, and we chant Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarabhyascha kripa sindhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to His Grace Ishwara Das Prabhu Ki Jai. All glories to Krishna Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Samuel Vaishnavi devotees Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.